Good afternoon to our Board of Judges. I would like to introduce to you our first judge, the principal of Siquijor Provincial Science High School, Miss Anita A. Dinolan. Then we also have our administrative assistant of Siquijor Provincial Science High School, Mr. Leonard Linghay. And we have also another faculty member of the same school, our chemistry teacher, Miss Aisel Dao Kidlam. And I'd like to introduce to you our first 5 speakers of the affirmative side. We have Earl Rose Ipilio, Hans Michael Nadan, Dodge Matthew Cuevas, Christian Jeter Sereno, and Ivana June Duhay Lungsod. Our other members of the affirmative side who help in looking for arguments and other data related to the topic are the following: Lizelle Marie Saplot, Yvonne Shaina Marie Kalunsag, Shara Beatriz Abing, Maureen Isabella Abing, Regine Joy Opada, Fatima Jane Ingito, Joji Sikia Sinas, Angel Marinel Sumailo, Robert James Kirby, Sherwin Steve Morales, and Matt Jacob Villaver. Our speakers of the negative side is composed of the following. First speaker, Clyde Maningo. Our second speaker, Gelford Akain. Our third speaker, Kay Razel Adlaw. Fourth speaker, Santa Ana Ores. Fifth speaker, Nathaniel Arcaya. And the other members of the group who help in looking for the arguments and data which will support for the resolution. Bon Jobeth Grant, Courtney Love Lapinig, Chantel Ann Anohos, Florian Gail Managing, Carl Duhay Lungsod, Maynard Aaron Ochia, Vanessa Bianca Malinaw, Mary June Humawan, Scarlett Dawn T. Lumanso, Kyle Hooper Ontoy, and Grace Giovanni Arong. Our debate will have the following criteria. The first is soundness of arguments, which is 50%, audience contact 15%, skill in handling notes 10%, and pronunciation and enunciation 25%, for a total of 100%. The debate now begins.
Resolved that death penalty be restored in the Philippines. Capital punishment is death penalty. It is used today and was used in ancient times to punish a variety of offenses. It is right for the deserving criminals. Death penalty. Have you ever thought about how many criminals escape punishment and yet the victims never had a chance to do that? Death is feared. Most people have a natural fear of death. It is a trait men have to think about what will happen before we act. If we don't think about it consciously, we will think about it unconsciously. Think if every murderer who killed someone died instantly, the homicide rate would be very low because no one likes to die. Death penalty is important because it could save lives of thousands of potential victims who are at stake.
Death penalty is an execution of an offender sentenced to death after conviction by a court of law on a criminal offense. To trace back death penalty, it first occurred at a 5th century in Code of Hammurabi in Babylon. The first death penalty codified 25 different crimes, and through time, it was carried out by the process of crucifixion, drowning, beating to death, burning, and impalement. It was later on adopted by a lot of countries in Britain, and as it was historically performed, it spread like a wildfire in the world, such as in America. Yet, a lot of countries declined the idea of death penalty because it was naturally barbaric. These countries are Portugal, Germany, Mexico, and New Zealand. These countries maintain order on the state, proving that death penalty isn't essential nor compulsory for a country to attain peace. We can say that it drives the citizen to fear the law, but it wasn't guaranteed that it will lessen the crime rate. The fact that it abided the eye for an eye philosophical policy, it'll just create chains of violence. Because to simply think of it, it is possible for a relative of an accused which is not guilty to proceed on vengeance, especially those who are financially incapable, even if it means going against the law. Thus, death penalty will just create endless violence. The death penalty should be abolished because it is barbaric and was an immoral form of punishment. It couldn't obtain its goal even if it will be legalized because it was morally unright, which made it inappropriate to be part of criminal judiciary system. Also, we are the state, and when the state kills, we kill our own countrymen.
Opponents say that state is like murder itself. The argument here is, if execution is murder, then killing someone in a war is murder. Hence, soldiers should not fight for the lives of their people, their country. Death penalty is vital to protect a person's right to live. Is arresting someone same as kidnapping someone? The same, executing is not murder. It is retribution by society for a deserving criminal. If you have the death sentence and deter future murderers, we spread the lives of future victims.
Death penalty isn't a solution for all these heinous crimes in the Philippines because of these reasons. There is no proven studies that death penalty is not crime deterrent. They found out that there are criminals who suffer from mental illnesses, and this penalty won't be able to prevent those people from doing bad things they cannot control without proper medication. Number two, it can result to punishing the wrong people, because even countries like USA and Colombia have laws in judging. There are many instances where innocent people are sent to jail and might involve in that penalty. If all people who are convicted will be executed, mistakes will be made and many people will be put to death through lethal injection even if they do not deserve the punishment. Number three, it costs the government too much money. Critics studied that the penalty, like lethal injection, would be more costly than feeding inmates. It was presented that every case regarding this penalty would cost at least $2 million than that of feeding inmates, which will just cost $1 million. It is not humane and cannot be undone. We people in the Philippines have not repented and turned from our evil ways. We continue to miss the mark. And so we become desperate and hope to eradicate crime by wasting too much money or executing the sinner but not the sin. Therefore, there is no way that this penalty should be restored.
As the argument says, death penalty costs a lot of money. So it's exactly the opposite. Death penalty costs government less as opposed to life imprisonment without parole. Proponent says despite expenses incurred by government from imposing capital punishment, death penalty is still cheaper compared to the cost of life without parole. Although there is no contention that the cost of foreigner is high, life imprisonment is accumulatively higher given the expenses for food, healthcare, and other costs of sustaining the lives of incarcerated individuals serving life.
Death penalty doesn't serve the cause of justice. It puts innocent lives at risk. United States in 1976, 138 innocent men and women have been released from death row, including some who came within minutes of execution. To execute an innocent person is morally reprehensible. This is a risk we cannot take. Second, we pay many millions for the death penalty system. We can save $2.3 million annually if the death penalty were eliminated, according to the Oregon Department of Administrative Services, around year 2000. According to Oregonian in 1995, 3 trials would cost $1.5 million. It is estimated that total prosecution and defense costs equal $9 million per year. Third, poor quality defense leaves many sentenced to death. One of the most frequent causes why offenders were sentenced to death is ineffective assistance of counsel. 68% of all death penalty cases reverse on appeal with inadequate defense, according to a study at the Columbia University. Death penalty is a cruel act, for it is being used in an imperfect system made up of individuals who make mistakes. Death penalty does not defer crime. If we will not give offenders the chance to reform, and if we seek for revenge, then we become no different from the offenders that were sentenced to death. Death penalty deters would-be criminals to commit felonies. The imposition of this have affected crime rates. According to a study conducted in the late 1960s, there was a 7% crime rate increase on the years that this law was abolished. As the saying goes, prevention is better than cure, and when it's beyond prevention, that's where it's going to be cured. Having said that, restoring death penalty would render fear to the criminals, leaving them hesitant in committing crimes. Besides, you would not be sentenced to death if you aren't proven guilty. Thus, there is a long process before the execution. We have the responsibility to punish those who deserve it, but only to the extent they deserve it. Let the punishment fit the crime. How many more innocent people are to be damaged or the collateral damage by crimes committed by the criminals if no one will take the move and stop them or eliminate these criminals?
Death penalty should not be restored because it is not a proven deterrent to heinous crimes, since according to a report given by the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism, the crime volume for 1992 to 2006 fluctuated. Most notably, in 1998 to 1999, wherein the crime volume increased from 72,576 to 82,538, and it was 99 when the first Filipino was executed during the reign of Joseph Estrada. Second, death penalty has violated the international treaties. The Philippines is a signatory to the second optional protocol to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which commits its member to abolish death penalty to its jurisdiction. Therefore, the reimposition would violate the said agreement. And lastly, the rate of judicial error our Supreme Court found in death penalty cases is 71.77%, and that's almost 3 out of 4 persons wrongfully meted the death penalty.
Justice requires punishing the guilty, even if only some can be punished, and sparing the innocent, even if all are not spared. Morally, Injustice must always be preferred to equality. Justice cannot ever permit sparing some guilty person or punishing some innocent ones for the sake of equality because others have been spared or punished. In practice, penalties could never be applied if we insisted that they can be inflicted on only a guilty person unless we are able to make sure that they are equally applied to all other guilty persons. Anyone familiar with the law enforcement knows that punishments can be inflicted only on an unavoidable shadow. According to Erwin Heisenberg in 1997, said, when you kill a man with premeditation, you do something different than stealing from him. I favor the death penalty as a matter of justice and human dignity. Even apart from deterrence, the penalty must be appropriate to the seriousness of the crime. When Aquino abolished death penalty, the crime rate went up until Ramos' crime.
Death penalty violates the Bill of Rights. This means death penalty is against human rights due to its barbaric nature as what the first speaker stated. Also, violating a law is a crime, so what's the point of having such law? With our state of morality, such law enable us to question such as if killing is wrong, so why still kill the one who killed? It never raised the thought of murder. It is also observable that death penalty takes a lot of time due to endless appeal in the court system upon granting death penalty on the accused. It will give chance for a defender which is guilty to prove himself unguilty. As a matter of fact, life imprisonment is the worst possible punishment for a man being guilty. This is because life imprisonment results pain in decades, while those who are judged by death penalty may just suffer instant death. To logically state, a criminal being bound to death by an accepted state criminal never changed the fact that they are also criminals.
Since all these 5 speakers have already stated their side, we will give the chance to the first speaker in the affirmative side to give the conclusion and also the fifth speaker of the negative side. But let us have first the first speaker of the negative side. So let's have first the first speaker in the negative side to state the conclusion, and then after that we'll have the first speaker of the affirmative side. After that we will have the rebuttal.
Therefore, death penalty shouldn't be accepted. Shouldn't be accepted by the law, and it should be abolished because it is a violation against human rights. And if we will going to think economically, we can save more through life imprisonment rather than having a convicted or having a criminal being instantly killed by the death penalty.
Advantages of death penalty being restored in the Philippines. 1. It deters bad people to commit heinous crimes. 2. It is what hardened criminals deserve. 3. The government need not spend your criminals who are murderers on such matter. 4. It reduces the number of committed crimes. 5. It is humane, clean, and safe.
Death penalty shouldn't be restored in our country because it is more costly and it will be a very it will be a very big problem to those who are to those people who have a problem about financial.
So, talking about expenses, whether it is more expensive without the death penalty, we won't be always using lethal injections, which you have said cost about 2 million. Because we have cheaper executions that are done swiftly and cleanly.
Juan Miguel or Mix Zubir once said, "The commission of heinous crimes continues to happen because criminals know that no matter how barbaric and demonic their criminal activities are, they will only be meted by life imprisonment."
We're going to talk about death penalty being determined to heinous crimes. From what I have searched, it was stated that scientists nor experts haven't found any yet evidences that will prove that death penalty is can deter the bad people or those people who committed such crime, and also in contrary to what the other speaker said, even though we're not going to use the lethal injections, still we're going to have big expenses because we're going to spend more money for the verdict and for the pre-trials that the suspect or the convicted person is going to undergo.
So much of course, indeed much of criticism of death penalty is attributed to decades of appeals. It is unsurprising that loudest complaints about death penalty list from death penalty. Claim cause studies often performed by the behest of death penalty opponents are frequently so incomplete as to false misleading. For example, they don't take into account the increase of cost of life without parallel cases if there were no death penalty. Criminal defendants who are facing the death penalty, which today must be pleaded by prosecutors upfront, often want to make a deal pleading guilty first-degree murder in exchange for a sentencing supplementary recommendation of life without parole. The existence of death penalty as possible sentence leads to guilty pleas that save the money spent on trials and limit the opportunity for appeals. So in conclusion, death penalty spends less money since you need lesser trials than expected for life sentence without parole. For life imprisonment or imprisonment without parole.
We will give one last chance for each group to present the last side of the argument before we are going to have the close.
favored on not having death penalty and let those criminals live in prison because you want them to suffer throughout their entire life, then it means you are paying them to live as time goes by because of the taxes you pay the government. You are paying them for breaking the laws. Is it rightful?
We're not paying for the criminals. I mean, we are not just paying because in the prison, they are not just like king or queen there, living in there. They are working for their life so that the taxes that we give to them is rightful because we did not accept that they will be dead because of their crime that they are doing.
And moreover, we're not paying the offenders. We are giving them the chance to change and redeem themselves.
With all these heinous crimes happening, we can only ask why these crimes seems to continue. Why have the perpetrators of these crimes become emboldened? It seems that they are not afraid anymore of our laws and our enforcers. To them, being caught is simply free of board and lodging in our jails. It's not a big deal for them.
Okay, we have heard actually both sides of the argument, and so we would like to end the debate, and then a big round of applause to all our speakers and also to our judges. Another big hand for our judges. Thank you very much for your time, and just stay put. So we're going to wait for the decision of our judges as to who comes out as the winner. game lang nila ba? Then you will have to suggest this. Either action to take Okay, we will now have the announcement of winners since we are running out of our memory. I would like to ask Sir Leonard to do the announcement for the winning group and then the best speaker. Okay, Sir Leonard, please do the honor right there in front. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. So before I'm going to announce the winning group, I would like to congratulate you and Ma'am Eden for having this. And also, I would like to request you to give an applause para sa inyong program. Given the limited time, you were able to give arguments that are really convincing and fitting to the issue, which is death penalty to be resolved in the Philippines. As much as we wanted to have you win both, pero dili pwede. So we chose one based on the arguments na inyong gihatag niya, and also based on the weight of the arguments, which really matter in our judgment. Okay? For the winning group or the winner for this debate, congratulations, because you were able to defend your stand, affirmative side.
Okay, and to announce the Best Speaker Award, let's have Miss Aisel Daoginlat.
Okay, good afternoon. How are you? Okay, debaters. Okay, so I would like to congratulate you for each of you have really an important argument, which but we have to come to a point that we need to select one speaker, and we would like to present. Please stand. That DM. We were really cash with his statement. Is it right?
Okay, so congratulations our best speaker is George Cuevas. Okay. Okay na, cut na.